You're watching Rules of the Game with Mark Cisco on Rider Nation Station. Brought to you through the help of these following fine sponsors: Buffalo Wild Wings, Miller's Funeral Home, Eagles Lodge 767, Rabel's Auto Service, Plus One Professionals, All-Glaze Equipment Rental, Midway Trailers, American Legion Post 323, Albert Sporting Goods, Family Audiology, Speckman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Spees Chiropractic, Varsity Lanes, Minster Bank, VFW Post 9289, Quinary Pizzeria, and Fowler's TV.
Here at TLC, we expanded our business, so we wanted the security of knowing exactly where all the kids are and what's going on in each of the rooms. We chose Fowler's because we've done all our televisions with them, and they mentioned they have security systems. So we just wanted to go out and look at it, and they were very upfront, and they do excellent work from start to finish. And so we chose Fowler's TV. It's been great for us here at TLC Learning Center, and Fowler's TV would be great for anyone.
Buffalo Wild Wings in St. Mary's is proud to support Rough Rider athletics and the Memorial Student Athletes. Join Buffalo Wild Wings for each Rough Rider football game streamed on Rider Nation Station. Buffalo Wild Wings, the greatest of all times.
Miller Funeral Home has been serving the Rough Rider community in its time of need since the 70s. Our business is a family affair, dedicated to serving families with integrity, dignity, and compassion. Miller Funeral Home, proud to be a supporter of the Rough Rider community.
St. Mary's Eagles 767 is dedicated to promoting the general welfare of the citizens of St. Mary's by giving special attention to public improvements. They are also committed to helping meet the public needs and all that relates to the betterment, convenience, and comforts of the citizens of St. Mary's. For more information on how you can become a member, call 419-394-3257 or stop in during business hours at 404 East Spring Street in St. Mary's. St. Mary's Eagles, 767. People helping people. Colder weather is just around the corner, and you want to make sure your family's vehicle is tuned up and ready to go. Rabel's Auto Service has been voted the best auto repair center in St. Mary's the last 3 years. And did you know they will pick up and deliver your vehicle for free? Give Rabel's Auto Service a call at 419-394-1624 or stop in and see Jeremy at 1610 Salina Road in St. Mary's. Rabel's Auto Service in St. Mary's. Give them a call today.
All-Glaze Equipment Rental is your source for all your equipment needs. Whether you're a contractor or a homeowner with a project, we can help get the job done more efficiently. Check us out at 1900 Salina Road or allglazeequipmentrental.com or just call 419-394-7883. All-Glaze Equipment Rental.
Now here's Ralph and Mark.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and unbelievable as it may seem, we are at week number 10 of the regular high school football season, but take heed, folks. We'll be back next week. All righty, it's rules of the game for week number 10. Of course, the Rough Riders getting ready to play the Salina Senior Bulldogs, but we're going to discuss some of the things that we saw last week. We're going to discuss some other rules that we either didn't understand or misinterpreted or whatever, but we're going to do all of that, and we're going to do that right after we take. Good to have you back.
Hey, it's always good to be here.
It's always good to get you back in here, and of course now he's got to work an extra week, at least one, maybe two, who knows, maybe three. But we'll find out. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this. I guess the big rule for me, and we've discussed it all week, is number one. This is like several part question.
All right.
In regards to a punt versus a fair catch, who can make it, who can call for the fair catch, all of that. Let's first of all start with who can call for a fair catch after the ball is punted.
Anybody on the receiving team can call for a fair catch.
Okay.
Anybody is allowed to do that. A fair catch can only technically be made beyond the neutral zone. Neutral zone on a scrimmage punt, on a punt situation, is only the width of a football, the length of a football. So if you're beyond that, you can make a fair catch. If the ball is, let's say, kicked straight up in the air, you cannot make a fair catch on the kicking team side of the football. You can still catch it, but you have no right to it on that side of the football, so to speak.
Okay.
All right, but on the On the receiving side of the football, anybody can signal for a fair catch, and basically by signaling for a fair catch, that tells the kicking team, hey, I am requesting that you give me an unmolested opportunity to catch the football, and I'm not going to run with the ball, therefore don't hit me.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Rules of the Game with Mark Cisco. This is Rider Nation Station. Each and every week we try to bring you local official Mark Cisco in here to talk about some of the clips and the rules of the game. Mark, as every week, thank you for joining.
Zach, it's always a pleasure to be here.
Well, if you haven't figured out now, tonight's a little bit extra special. We're here live in beautiful Guarneri's Pub and Pizzeria in downtown St. Mary's, and we are here celebrating Mark and your 40th year of officiating and your pending retirement this year.
Pending retirement from football officiating, that's true. Yep,
so,
after 40 years.
So tonight, Mark, you didn't know this, it's a little bit of a surprise, but we're going to have lots of clips from with you and Big Ralph over the years. So that was the first one.
It was the first one. Brings back good memories.
Ironically, on point, that was Salina, Week 10, talking about that game. So I'm excited for you to hear some of the other ones that we got in store tonight.
So am I.
We're going to jump right into the clips. Then we're going to take a short break, and we're going to have time for anybody in the audience here tonight to come up and talk or give any comments or questions for Mark. So let's jump right into the clips, Mark. This was, of course, St. Mary's had a nice victory over the Bath Wildcats this weekend. And the first kick here was the opening kickoff. The first clip, sorry. Mark, this was a sort of a high kick, and you can see it fumbled by the St. Mary's player and then recovered right there at the 28-yard line. My question that popped into my head was, do you know why the rules have provided for a muffed punt but not a muffed kick?
Well, that's exactly what you had there, was a muffed catch, if you will.
Right.
Anytime the ball is not possessed cleanly, you have a muff. And it just means that it's not a fumble because the player really never had possession, so it's called a muff. And at that point, after it has touched a receiving team player, it's a free ball.
Okay.
At that point.
And so it can't be advanced either.
The kicking team cannot advance the football. They can recover it, and on a kickoff right there, they can keep it, but they can't pick it up and go to the end zone with it. You see that sometimes, but the officials, if they're on top of their game, will bring that back and hand it to the kicking team at the spot of recovery.
Same as a muff punt then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can't advance a punt, and while the ball is still alive, it's still considered a kick, even though it's been muffed by the receiving team.
Well, we're starting out right on schedule with me not understanding something and you correcting it. So we're going to jump right in here to the second clip. This was a fumbled snap in the shotgun, and went straight to the running back instead of to the quarterback. My question was, we know that the quarterback can pick up a fumbled snap and throw it after that. If the running back for some reason wanted to throw it back there, could he still throw the ball?
Makes no difference. The quarterback is only a designation for coaching staffs and things of that nature. And in fact, I'm going to correct you again. It really wasn't a fumble because he really never had the ball. So we've got the quarterback muffing the ball, all right? And that snap is considered a backward pass.
Okay.
Not that that makes a difference to everyone here, but it's considered a backward pass. And yes, the running back picks it up. He, at that point, if he runs wherever and decides to throw it, he is considered the passer at that point.
Except that since it is considered a backward pass, so it's a muff, but it can be advanced because it's a backward pass?
It's correct, yes.
Okay.
Anything behind the line of scrimmage like that, they can hand the ball forward, backwards, throw it backwards, even throw it forward for a forward pass and catch it, and you can do that without any problem behind the line of scrimmage.
Because the offensive team is starting to play with possession of the ball.
Correct.
Unlike a punter kick, where they haven't actually changed, they haven't received possession of the ball.
The receiving team has not, yes.
Okay.
Right.
Look at
Did I confuse you?
I'm unintentionally. We're unintentionally linking all of our clips together, so I like that.
That's
so
not
far.
a problem. Not a problem.
Mark, we're going to jump in here with the clip number 3. Unfortunately, this is the clip where the St. Mary's quarterback was injured. I think a lot of people were wondering if it was a horse collar because he was pulled down by the back side there by the jersey.
Depends on where the hand was on the jersey. If it was inside the shoulder pads up around the neck area, yes. If it was on the nameplate, where the nameplate would be on some jerseys, they added that to the rules a couple years ago, and it was pulled down, and he certainly was pulled down backwards. From this angle, it's hard to tell, but if he was in that area, it would be a horse collar, yes.
And it doesn't matter that he's the quarterback and it's after
Nope.
the pass.
Nope.
Can it be anywhere on the field? Can it be a guard or center being pulled down?
The rules specify ball carrier.
Okay.
In this case, he is the ball carrier, has the ball in his grasp right there, and whether they reached up there, it'd be nice to see an end zone view of that if that was possible, but it sure looks like one from here.
It unfortunately wasn't a better look on the end zone either,
Sure.
so we're going to jump into the next play, but I wanted to talk about that one because I think that was a big question that some people had. Next play was a hit by the St. Mary's player. I thought maybe a little late. It wasn't called though, so no harm, no foul.
Or the push out of bounds right there. Possibly it's a little tough to tell where the ball carrier was at the point the contact was made. Maybe we'll get a little look at it here again. Yeah, it's right there on the sideline. Whether he's out, whether he's not, foot could have been over the sideline, and as long as you're not down out of bounds, you're fair game. So, a lot of times they'll not want that big hit on the sideline because he was headed out of bounds. Well, just because he's headed there and not there yet doesn't tell the defense to lay off. They got free reign to do whatever they want to do.
We're in a lot of clips, so we got to find stuff where we could this week.
Gotcha.
So.
Pretty clean game then,
Yes,
probably.
Yeah, not a lot of penalties. This next play then was a false start on the fullback, I thought. Just a little bit of a hitch there.
Oh, we saw the arm move just a little bit. Probably, depending on the temper and the tone of the game at that point. Maybe called, maybe not. It wasn't egregious, but it certainly was enough to get our attention.
Right at the goal line, too, which could have been really pivotal.
Whether the referee actually was focused on that, I don't know. Is it enough? Yes, it is, because he thought the play was going to start. Yes.
Fortunately, St. Mary's was still able to make the stop at the goal line, big goal line stand, and Bat didn't score on that anyway. So next play was just a fumble on the kick return. It's a little bit hard to see, but he picks the ball up there, and the ball is stripped out right there at the end, and it kind of rolls forward.
Now, that is a fumble.
Okay.
All right, that is a fumble.
Not a
muff, because he did have possession. The official on the wing on this side had a beanbag down, so he thought it was a fumble as well. And there's video shows it clearly was out. So
that's what I wanted to talk about. It looks like he's almost sitting on the players. I don't think he was down yet.
No, I think the ball came out probably a little sooner than that, or it came loose. Maybe it wasn't out in fair territory where everybody could see it. But yes, that's definitely a fumble and free game. Yep.
The next play was a penalty called. And I wasn't at the game, and I watched it several times, and I can't figure out what the call was. It looked like the play was brought back 5 yards, which doesn't make sense if it was a holding down the field. We'll have to watch it a few times here. We can see the flags coming right there at the end.
Right at the end. I don't know. Let's look at the formation if we can. Everything looks good there. Not too many men in the backfield. Did they call it on St. Mary's, or did they call it
They called it on St. Mary's. The ball was brought back to the 32-yard line, so it was
possibly from the end of the run there, maybe. Looks like it possibly somebody got a hand on a face mask somewhere.
Okay.
And it can happen with the offense.
Okay.
As long as they didn't pull it or twist it, that would be a 5-yard penalty. So it makes sense.
So a face mask on the offense.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that it would be at that point.
That'd make more sense. So I saved the best for last, the actual penalty of the game. So thank you very much for
that's it.
Inform me, and that's the
easy
7
game,
clips.
right?
That's easy.
All right, good deal.
Mark, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to ask the audience about any questions from the game or from any games or any officiating questions and any comments that they might have for Mark and your illustrious 40-year career. We'll be back right after this.
Are you looking for a new trailer or needing your current one fixed? Then head over to Midway Trailer Sales. We're conveniently located just off U.S. Highway 33 in St. Mary's and Interstate 75 in Dayton. We're your one-stop shop for new and used trailers, flatbeds, and snowplows. We also offer a wide array of parts to fit your trailer's needs. Our professional service team will get you back on the road in no time. And of course, we're Ohio's only authorized empty hopper dealer. Come visit us at www.midwaytrailers.net. When you need a haul, give Midway a call.
St. Mary's Legion Post 323, veterans working for veterans and the future of our country. The St. Mary's Legion Post 323 supports veterans programs such as Gifts for Yanks, Support the Troops, Comfort Warriors, Blood Donor, POW MIA programs, as well as children and youth programs. The St. Mary's Legion Post 323 also donates thousands of dollars each year to local summer programs such as Boys State, Girls State, Scholarships in Education, Boy Scouts, Oratorical, and Shooting Sports. St. Mary's Legion Post 323, remembering the past, living the present, and working for the future.
Albert Sporting Goods is here to outfit your team, both on and off the field. Since 1980, Albert Sporting Goods has serviced schools, clubs, and businesses throughout Ohio. For all of your uniform, spirit wear, and equipment needs, make it Albert Sporting Goods. Order online now at albertsportinggoods.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ellen Hunter, owner of Family Audiology Associates with offices in Salina and St. Mary's. I am a St. Mary's Memorial graduate and a proud supporter of our Auglaize and Mercer County community. Since 2004, my staff and I have tested and treated the hearing imbalance of many of our infants, children, adults, and elderly in our community, and we would be proud for you or your loved one to be one of our next patients. Call Family Audiology Associates today, your hometown hearing experts, and go Riders!
I wanted to ask you this because it happened Friday. It didn't happen Saturday's game. Friday's game with Coldwater, Avon, team punting the ball, snapped the ball to the kicker. He runs 5-6 steps before he kicks it.
Okay.
Is he vulnerable, or
is that a design play? You think?
I think it's normal.
Okay.
If it's now, I mean, of course, he has the option, I guess, to kick it or run with it,
or run it, or throw it, or whatever he wants to do.
He'd take 4 or 5 running steps, and then he'd kick it.
Yep.
I mean, if somebody comes in and levels his clock, where are we at?
You see, that's a nice question, because a lot of folks think, if he takes off and runs with it,
right,
he's lost all protection for roughing the kicker, running into the kicker protection.
Right.
Wrong.
Okay.
The rules say he's not a kicker until he contacts the football with his foot or lower leg in an action to kick the football.
Okay.
At that point, he becomes a kicker. And protection is there, unless I'm convinced or not convinced that he's going to kick the football.
Okay.
And I've had an occasion that way where you've had kickers muff it, fumble it, whatever, pick it up, run a couple steps, think about kicking it, run a couple other steps, and then finally get a leg on it, and then just get blasted.
Okay.
My interpretation of the coach was, look, I wasn't convinced he wasn't going to kick it. So, the defense coming in gives him a shot. I'm not going to call roughing or running into there, because in my judgment, he didn't convince me.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to give the kicker a lot of room, but even if there's even with the room I'm giving him, I mean, he's got to convince me that he's going to kick the football. And if it's something that's designed, and even if he runs 4 or 5 steps and gets it off, I'm still pretty convinced he's going to try to kick the football in the particular situation. So that's something that's up to the referee's discretion.
Okay. Well, I will say one thing: he did it time and time again, so wasn't anything different.
Welcome back to Rules of the Game with Mark Cisco. I'm your host, Zach Farrell. Each week we have Mark Cisco on to talk about the clips from the previous week. And tonight's extra special. We're here live at Guarneri's Pub and Pizzeria in downtown St. Mary's, and we're celebrating 40 years of officiating for Mark Cisco tonight. We're going to open up this portion of the program to any questions or comments that are in the crowd. And I've got the first one that was sent electronically, Mark.
Uh-oh.
This question comes from Macy Lammers. Do you get mad if there are no penalties in a game?
Do I get mad? No. We don't get paid to throw flags. We're happy when we don't have any flags, because that means the game moves along at its right pace, and there's no and there's no interference with us stopping the game and administering things of that nature. We would prefer to have games with no penalties, but unfortunately you're playing with 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, and sometimes things happen. And we may have, I think in my career, maybe one game where we've had 1 or 2 penalties. It's a well-played game, and it's normally between 2 evenly matched schools. And otherwise, you may get 10, 12, 7, 8 penalties a game. So
well, Macy disagrees. She says you get mad when there's not penalties.
No, I don't get mad at all. No.
I'm just reading what was sent to me, though.
When I was younger, I used to live for those games or have 2 games a weekend or something like that. But at 40 years, if the game moves along and we get out under 2 hours, I'm a happy guy.
Awesome. Well, we got someone up here.
Question there, Mark.
Coach Freewalt.
All right. Now, you see all the time kickoffs, pros, college, high school, fair catch. Where's the ball come out to? Goes in the end zone, fair catches, in the field of play. Where's the ball go in those 3 different positions?
Well, in high school, I can tell you that a fair catch is basically put down at the spot where the ball is caught. Now, a ball that ends up in the end zone, kicked into the end zone, or makes its way into the end zone due to the kick, is the touchback, and that'll come out to the 20-yard line. Normally in the middle of the field. The coaches can request that the ball be put anywhere on the 20 inside between the hashes. In college, I know that they'll bring those things out to I believe the 25, and the pros, I have no idea. And quite honestly, bringing that up, I think the high school game would be better if folks would not try to impart the college or the pro rules in the high school game. I think we'd all get along better as officials, would we not? Mr. Krug over there, sitting over there, yeah. Mr. Heil sitting back there, yes, we would. So fair catch basically is where the ball's caught. Touchbacks in high school will come out to the 20.
Well, we've got lots of officials in here, and we've got someone from your own crew, Mark Zink. Marcus.
Welcome. I'd like to invite Rich Heil up here, a little special presentation.
I'd like to say for Rich has got 20 years in as well. Marcus is just a pup, and I think he's got what, Mark, 4?
Yeah,
4 years in. But Rich has been with me for 20 years, and he and I are going to retire together. So congratulations, Mr. Heil.
So on behalf of the best crew in the state, we have a little parting gift for you.
Little parting gift.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Rich Heil also retiring after 20 years tonight. Both part of your crew?
Yes, been part of the crew for a long time. Oh, look at that. Thank you, fellas. That's amazing. That's truly amazing.
And a little personal one.
Oh. I'm not going to show that one to the crowd. Yeah. I'm not going to show that one to the crowd. I like that one.
It says, don't screw it up.
Yeah. It's something like that. Yeah. Good deal. Good deal.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much. Good deal.
We'll send that back here.
Thank you, fellas.
All right, anyway, yeah.
Bob Fitzgerald.
Bob.
Hey, last week I think we talked about the helmet-to-helmet contact a little bit.
Yes.
So I got one, since there's a special guest here in the audience tonight. When I watched him play, he was a battering ram with his head as a fullback. And I want to know, can a running back be called for spearing and or helmet-to-helmet contact?
Yes, that's a great question. And in fact, you see it called more now in today's game than you did when you and I and Mr. Clark played. Rocky, yeah, you're the guy. Yeah. Yes, running backs can. And the reason that's in there is because it's a safety matter. When kids put their heads down, it puts their neck at risk and things of that nature, and they want to try to keep the head out of the game, obviously. That's why the concussion protocols and everything else. But when we played back when, the coaches didn't teach that, but the officials didn't call it either. It was just part of the game. And the game has gotten safer over the years. I mean, some of us would say it's been, I guess, quieted down, if you will, but it's probably for the good of the game. If the game's going to stay here, those changes had to be made. So to answer your question, yes, they can. You're welcome.
Anyone else? All right, hearing none, we're going to... we got one more thing here. Wow. Let's zoom in on that maybe.
Yep.
Custom
ball. The years doing it, and they got it right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. Mark, when we come back, we're going to have some final thoughts, and we'll be back with more rules of the game right after this.
Speckman Automotive with stores in St. Mary's and Wapakoneta is your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs. Family run since 1960, Speckman Automotive upholds the tradition of blending old-fashioned customer service with modern technology that the customers expect and deserve. Shop local. Shop Speckman Automotive.
Kogi Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has brought the best in comfort control and plumbing services to the St. Mary's area for over 57 years. Kogi's takes pride in identifying heating, plumbing, and air conditioning solutions which stand out from the rest. Give Kogi's a call today. Kogi Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, a name you can trust.
Hello, I'm Dr. Robert Spees. Welcome to Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
As a family practice, Spees Chiropractic welcomes in patients of all ages. Whether this is your first time or you've done this before, Dr. Spees and his compassionate staff are here for you. What makes Spees Chiropractic unique is their three-tier approach. By using chiropractic care alongside massage therapy and physical therapy, all your healthcare needs will be treated compassionately and comprehensively. Spees Chiropractic. Make the right choice for your care.
Head to Varsity Lanes for the pregame or postgame party. Dinner, beverages, and bowling with the best prices in town. Varsity Lanes also specializes in birthday parties or office and corporate parties of all sizes. Varsity Lanes is the home of 2 boys and 2 girls state championship titles. Eat, drink, and bowl where the state winners are built. Proud supporters of Rough Rider Athletics, Varsity Lanes.
If you want a winning banking relationship for all your financial needs, let Minster Bank help. We can make all your winning dreams come true. Find us at minsterbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
VFW 9289's mission is to honor all veterans, past, present, and future. Come on out on Football Friday nights to watch the live stream of Rough Rider Football. VFW 9289, a proud sponsor of Rider Nation Station.
Guarneri's Pizzeria and Pub has partnered with Rider Nation Station this season so that every Friday night, Guarneri's can be Rough Rider Central. Guarneri's will be streaming Rough Rider football live every Friday night at 7, paired with your favorite Rider aid. Call Guarneri's during or after the game to place your pickup order for pizza, wings, or hoagies at 419-394-2244. Remember, Guarneri's, home of the signature Big Ralph.
All righty, here's my good one for the week. This is the best one. Friday night, we're at Lima Senior. We have Coldwater. We have Delta.
Heck of a ball game.
Right. Pre-game clock runs down. Nothing but zeros.
Okay.
Neither team is on the field.
Oh.
5 officials are standing in the center of it, but nobody's coming out.
Nobody's out, huh?
Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming out. I mean, there ain't anybody in the wings waiting or anything.
We're not even
Help me out here.
We're not even in the locker room yet, huh?
Well, no, we sent people to the locker room, but, you know, we still aren't out on the field. We're kind of, are we playing the game of who's going to the field first?
Probably not. If that's a situation, we're probably, you know, if you're not even looking for the teams at all, I mean, if they've not even made the appearance outside the stadium there, I mean, coming out of the locker rooms, they've probably got some, I hate to say it, some bad information by the officials or something along those lines because, you know, in the pregame conference with the coaches, we will tell them what we have on our watches, and most coaches will look at their watches and they'll synchronize it down and know when they have to be out. Now, it could have been a situation where one guy's watch said one thing and he gave the coaches a time, and it didn't correspond to what was on the clock and whatever. My guess is at that point you're not going to have a problem. Now, if it is a game of one team
who's
trying
going
to
on the field
upstage
first,
the other, then the referee is required to go to the home team and order them to take the field first.
Okay.
Well, welcome back to Rules of the Game with Mark Cisco. I'm your host, Zach Farrell. Mark, it's a bittersweet night tonight as we are celebrating your 40 years of officiating and your pending retirement in officiating. We've heard lots of clips from your time with Big Ralph and the Rules of the Game show back then. I think some of the things that some of the questions that you guys have had, we've repeated a few times maybe through the years. That's always interesting. Maybe we should just go back and listen to some of those first before we talk each week, but it's a fun time. Mark, I just thought maybe this last segment you could reflect on 40 years. 40 years when you started at 19 to now. What's the biggest change? Are there any times that you regret a call or two? Are there any that stick out? Are there any games that stick out? 40 years is a long time, a lot of football. The floor is yours.
40 years is a long time. I started my first ever game, a sub-varsity game, was at St. Mary's on the West School practice field. It was a 3-man crew there. Chris Beckman was on the crew, and there might have been, thinking about the other guy, might have been Robert Hartwell, who was a teacher at St. Mary's, or it might have been Bobby Utzler, who lived in Spencerville. I showed up in full uniform, whites, everything. That was the wrong thing to do. But I didn't know any different at that point. Of course, the uniforms changed over the years. We went from wearing spats and knickers to now just black long pants and white stripes. The game has changed in that it's gotten faster. Kids are stronger, are faster, and I know a lot of people say that, but they are. And the rules have changed some that made the game more safer, I think, for the kids. Calls that I regret, was I ever wrong? Yeah, I've been wrong. When I work a perfect game, I told everybody I would stop. I haven't done that yet, and I don't think we ever will. Calls that I regret, yeah, probably along the way, and I can't pick out any in between best games. Over 40 years, I've only had the chance to work one Western Buckeye League championship game, just the way the schedule fell, and that happened to be over at Walpock, and they were playing Kenton at the time, and I believe that Coach Fry was involved in that game. That's been a while ago. I've had several crewmates have come and gone. All of them have been great guys, and I have a great crew now, and I'm going to be sorry to miss them.
Well, Mark, I don't want to. I think we can leave it at that, but we got a special clip here that we're going to play out with. We may come back if you want to talk a little bit about it at the very end, but we're going to let this one play out.
Okay.
It's Rules of the Game on K94 with Mark Cisco. Now, here's Ralph and Mark.
Well, a very pleasant good evening, and welcome to the playoff Rules of the Game. And Mr. Mark Cisco, licensed official with the state of Ohio, a resident licensed official. And this is the last time we're doing this.
Week 15, baby. The state finals edition, huh?
This is the state finals edition of Rules of the Game. We've never gone this long, to my knowledge, because this show didn't exist in 1993, which was the last time that we were there. But it does now, and, of course, what a golden opportunity for the St. Mary's Memorial Rough Riders. What a season it has been. 15 shows we've done with Rules of the Game. So we're going to get right to them and find out what's going on. And well, I got a few complaints with him about last week. He was there, so he's going to be. He saw it firsthand. We'll talk about that when we come back here on Rules of the Game. All righty, we're back here. Playoff Rules of the Game. Mark Cisco has been with me for a long time, and one of the more enjoyable seasons that we have experienced with Rules of the Game. And, of course, Mark, up till last week, had 3 playoff games, a regional final. And, of course, that alone allows him to be qualified to talk about this stuff on the show. I mean, seriously. I mean, I think the most frustrating part of this show for me is I get in here and talk to you in the studio and find out these things, learn these things, and when I don't see them executed on the field, that's when I go ballistic. Everybody says, well, boy, you really got to... Well, it's because I get it right straight from the horse's mouth. And all righty, we're back here on Rules of the Game. Ralph Guarneri along with Mark Cisco, our resident licensed official with the state of Ohio for some 20-plus years. He's been doing it, wearing the white hat. I wanted to ask you about I had the glasses on, so did Joe. We were watching the coin toss at the beginning of the ball game. Some problem there?
Well, I knew you'd ask me that question. Well,
like I said, we don't see it.
There wasn't a problem. I mean, he talked to the kids and the captains, and they called it and everything else, and then he signaled the deferral on the part of Watterson to take the choices in the second half, which is all well and good, and he placed the players with their backs to the appropriate goal lines. But then he did something that's normally not done, and then he signaled the deferral again.
Okay.
And then we signaled that we're going to kick the ball, and then we're going to signal that we're going to receive the ball. Well, now, it's a little bit redundant.
Okay.
The books tell you that you're gonna get the choices from the captain right after the toss, and if one of the teams defer, you're going to signal that right away. Just go to the other team and say, all right, we assume that you're going to want to take the football. Yep, fine. And then you go to the team that won the toss and say, all right, which goal would you like to defend or kick? And you put the players' backs to the goal lines they're going to defend, and then you just signal who's going to receive the football. And that's it.
Okay. All righty, back here for a final time. This is it. We're not going to talk any more about football this year and Rules of the Game until 2005. But what a great show. Should be a great football game.
Should very well be. I've had the chance to see Benedictine a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
They play fast. They're not overly big. They can score from anywhere on the field, but that's nothing St. Mary's is not used to.
Right.
Should be a heck of a ball game.
Run the ball more than throw the ball?
I would say that they run the ball more than throw the ball.
Okay.
They do give up some points. But if the defense can, the old saying, offense wins games, defense wins championships. If they show up, defense shows up to play, we'll be all right.
All righty. Well, I'll tell you what, you have a great year. Now with football season. We hope to.
And you got the basketball's coming out soon,
That's right. That's right. But not this weekend anyway, for us anyway. But I've enjoyed doing the show with you this year, and hopefully we can do it in 2005.
Let's hope.
All righty, stick around. More coming up on this Championship Saturday.
Mark, that was 2004, my senior year, and that was the last show that you had with Big Ralph.
Mm-hmm.
So, we lost him a couple months after that. And your final thoughts?
That was a special time. I would like to say one thing. I'd like to thank my wife, Patty. 40 years of putting up with me being gone and raising the family. I don't deserve it, but I love her much. Thanks.
I think it's a great way to end it. Well, as long as St. Mary's continues in the playoffs, we're still going to have you back to talk about.
I hope so.
Do this.
Looking forward to it.
We'll see everybody back next week. We thank you for joining to this special show of Rules of the Game. Thanks, Guarneri's Pub, for coming out. Be sure to tune in to Rider Nation Station Friday night as we have the big game across the lake, Salina St. Mary's. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.